Welcome back to another episode of Easy as That. In today's video, I'm going to be unboxing, reviewing, and showing you how to set up this Kmart Anko Full HD Wi-Fi outdoor camera. Let's get it opened. And just before we set this all up, there are a few things that you should know about the security camera. To actually connect it to your Wi-Fi network, you'll have to have a 2.4 GHz network. You can't have a 5 GHz network. The next thing is that you want to have Wi-Fi access where you put your camera. So make sure it's fairly close to where your internet router is or is in range. Now if you'd like this camera to actually record when it detects movement, you'll need a micro SD card, which is not actually included with this camera. Nevertheless, I'll still show you how to actually put a micro SD card in this camera if you choose to buy one. Now unlike some of the other Anko camera products, this actually is powered by, as you can see here, a power point and not a battery. This means you might have to run a cord through your wall. Now lastly, it has IP66 water and dust resistance, which means if it rains or if a dust storm happens, you shouldn't be too worried. Has motion detection, and you can actually see things at night because it has a black and white mode. Now first up here, we have the camera itself and its packaging. Now if you just peel this sticker off, if this front part comes off, that's okay. Just press it back into place. Next we have the power cord for the camera. And after that, we have some other things which I'll go through later. The antenna, which kind of looks like a pencil. Some stuff to get it on your wall. And an alignment sticker. A warning sticker. And the instructions, which you won't need because I'll be explaining everything in today's video. Now we're going to grab our antenna that looks like a pencil, and we're going to need to find this golden bit here. It's just on the back of the camera, but as you'll probably find out, it actually doesn't go on because this bit is obstructing it. So we're going to temporarily move this to make way for the antenna. To do this, you're going to need this packet, which was included, and you just want to grab out the Allen key. Should look like this. Now pick up your camera and locate this bit at the ends. There should be two screws, one there and one there. You're going to need to unscrew these with the Allen key. Now I've got that unscrewed. All you need to do is just take it off. Now we can actually screw on the antenna. Once you've done that, you can bend it like this. Now all you need to do is just reattach this bit by plugging the screws into their slots and screwing them in. What I'm going to quickly show you now is how to actually install a micro SD card into this camera. What that means is if this detects movement or someone walking, it will start recording and you can view all these recordings on your phone. You'll need Also, please do not do this step if you do not have a micro SD card that you wish to install. If you don't have a micro SD card though, that's okay. It will still show live footage and will take a few photos. Now of course, before you do this step, please make sure your security camera is not plugged into electricity. For this step, I'm going to use a screwdriver. Down here, there's this little latch. You could take it off with your nail if you want. I'm just going to use a screwdriver. I'm just going to pop this lid off. Be careful. But it should look alright. So right about now you should see these 4 screws. They're black, so they're hard to see on camera, but they're just in the corner there. What you want to do is unscrew each of them. Now once these screws are unscrewed, you can just pull this out. Now be very careful. Now see this bit here? This is the micro SD card slot. Now you're going to want to hold it like this. So this strap is facing upwards and there are these 2 dots here. Grab your micro SD card, looking like this way, and just pop it in there. Give it a push until you hear a very small click or vibration. If you ever wish to take it out, just give it another click. Now, make sure this aligns up with this, and very carefully put it back in, and then put one of your screws in each quarter and tighten it back up. Now you want to place. Just press like so until you hear a click. you're wondering, does this camera actually angle downwards or point in another direction if you want it angled down? Well, the answer is yes. I'll show you how to do that later when we actually put it on the wall. But for now, let's get on to... Now, you can get your phone and scan the QR code that's on screen, or you can just type in your app store, Mirabella Genio. You'll need to click download. Now while the app's downloading, grab your power cord and then find the power input. It should look like this. Once you plug it in, wait 30 to 40 seconds and just a red light should start to flash. This will mean that it's ready to pair with your phone. Now for these next few steps, I highly recommend bringing your security camera and device that you'd like to pair it with next to your Wi-Fi router, within 30 to 100 centimeters of it. Now guys, let me just say this really quickly. For this app to actually work and connect, you're going to actually need to enable location services in settings or allow this app to access your location while you're using the app. Next, go into the Mirabella Genio app and click register. Now you can agree to their terms and conditions, but you can read it if you'd like. Now you can just put in your email. Now it will send a verification code to that email address. Open your inbox and type in the code. If it doesn't show up, make sure you check your spam and junk folder. Now it will ask you to set a password for your account. Once you're in, it should show a screen like this. This is your home screen. Click Add Device. Now click Security and Sensor, and then click Anko Outdoor Camera. Now check your security camera and see if it has a red dot flashing quickly. If it does, click Next Step. Now it should ask you to put in your Wi-Fi password. Your Wi-Fi name should automatically show up if you are connected to that network. For this step, you're going to want your device fairly close to your Wi-Fi modem, and the same with your security camera. Now, a QR code is going to come up on your screen when you click Continue, and the camera is going to scan it from your phone. Make sure they are 15 to 20 centimeters away from the mobile phone. Now you need to grab your camera that's plugged in and has a red light there, just a red light, and then your phone with the QR code, and hold them like this so the security camera can scan the QR code on the phone. Now there should be a flashing blue light and the red light should be gone. This will indicate that it is paired. Once you've done that, click beep/indicator switched. Now you'll need to move your mobile phone and the device as close to your Wi-Fi modem as possible. This should only take a few seconds. Now it is successfully connected. All you need to do now is just click Done. It should load, and now you have access to your camera. From this menu, you can take a screenshot. You could record someone. You could play back if you have a microSD card installed, and you can turn off the movement detection alarm, or you could turn it on. You can also schedule it and adjust the sensitivity. This is the photo album where it stores all your videos and photos. Now once you've got the microSD card in your camera, if you chose to install it, if you want this camera to actually record when it detects movement, you'll need to basically activate it in the settings. To do this, click the pencil icon in the top right and then scroll down till you see storage settings. In here, turn on local recording, and then if you'd like it to constantly record non-stop, you can, but it takes up a lot of storage. So I just do event recording, which basically means if it detects movement, then it will start recording. Now here down the bottom, it also says format, so if you'd like to clear all of the storage, you can just click that. And now, it's all ready for use. Now we're going to actually mount this camera on a wall. Now I wouldn't recommend doing this yourself unless you're an electrician. I highly recommend actually hiring one just to put this up because it involves cords going through walls and drilling holes in walls and stuff that not everyone knows how to do. Now to actually adjust the angle of which your camera sits on the wall, you're going to need to unscrew this bit here, just like this, and you'll turn it over, and then here you're going to need to unscrew this. You'll need to do it with this Allen key. Once you've unscrewed this part, it should look like this, and you'll have these two separate pieces. Now you can get them, and you can find this little flower bit, and then put them on each of these. Now angle it down like so, or whichever way you want your camera to go. Once you've got it in the correct angle, all you need to do is screw that screw back into this hole. Once that's screwed back on tight, you can grab this piece back. Make sure these screws are on this side and not at the top and bottom, and you can screw it back in. You can adjust this to any angle you want. Now you're going to need your electrician to mark a spot in the roof, preferably where there's timber, to poke your cord through to power your camera. Make sure that the hole is actually big enough to fit the power cord through. You also need to mark holes where your screws are going to go. Once you've done that, poke the power cord through the hole. Take in consideration that you might need to cut off the RJ45 jack, as it may be too big to fit through the hole. Don't worry if you need to cut it off though, because that jack doesn't make a difference to the actual camera's functionality. Now you want to get this power cord. You want your electrician to plug it in on the roof and connect it up with your camera. Be sure to turn off the power when handing electricity. Once the cord is through the roof, it should look like this. If you've already made marks with your screwdriver in the screw holes, you won't have to use the alignment sticker. But if you want, you can. This will make sure it's on properly and is straight. Connect the power to the security camera. Feed the cables through the wall, and then it's ready to be attached to your wall. Once the camera once again has power, you may need to remove it from the app and then add it again. Now it is all screwed in. Alright, and now it's time for the part of the video where I actually review this camera and tell you whether you should buy it or if you should give it a miss. Let's start off with value for money. Personally, I think this is great value for money because it's only $100. And it's not like those other expensive cameras that also require membership to these certain companies. So this is just a one-time cost, and it's a really great functioning camera. Now in terms of sound quality, for the actual microphone where this camera picks up audio, I thought it was pretty good. Now there was a slight actual delay with the video, maybe just a few seconds, but unless you're like watching that live, it doesn't really matter too much. Now in terms of aesthetics, I think this is a really nice design, and it's white, so if your house is white it can just easily blend in, but the front black bit also does stand out, so if a robber does come to your house, he'd probably straight away see that, and I think he'd go look somewhere else for a house to rob. Now in terms of setup, this was pretty easy to set up. However, in my last review of an Anko camera, that was a doorbell, people said it was a little hard to set up, but I helped them in the comments. So if you need any help, just comment it down below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Also, installing the micro SD card was a bit more hands-on than I expected. Now in terms of problems, this camera actually did alright. There was just a few problems, like when I went in the app, sometimes it took a while to actually load and get the video stream up, or establish an encrypted channel. But eventually it got there, and it showed me the video footage. Now for the last problem I had with this camera, if you have like an internet timer that turns it off at some time in the day or night, or if your internet sometimes just turns off by itself and has to restart, this camera will actually just go completely offline, and then sometimes I had to get it down from the wall, click reset, and then do the whole pairing process again. So that's why I'm giving this Kmart Anko Full HD Wi-Fi outdoor camera a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It just lost half a star because of that internet timer thing, if you do own one, and also because it was a bit hands-on to actually install it properly. Besides that, I think it's a great camera, and it's definitely good if you're on a budget, and does the job well. That's it from me. See you next time. Easy as out. Don't forget to leave a comment if you need any more help or would like to request another thing for us to fix.